Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer news. We start with Ace Abde, as it has been reported that Barcelona have already received offers for the 21-year-old attacking prodigy. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, in this episode, talking about former Barcelona striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. In a recent interview, Aubameyang talks about Barcelona's stains, talk about Dembele, Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, and Lewandowski. We are also going to be discussing on what Aubameyang has to say about those. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona have already received offers for Abde Ezazuli. Barca have been very cautious about the future of this young prodigy. Abde had an impressive season while on loan at Osasuna last time out. He made 34 appearances, scored 6 goals. Now that Abde has returned, Xavi must make a decision on his future, and if a report from Sport is to be believed, the youngster has been put on the market by the team and they have already received several proposals for him. Abde was recently called up to the Morocco Under-23 team for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations Under-23. The 21-year-old went on to score 3 goals in first 2 games before he was rested against Ghana in the third group stage game. Barcelona made the request for him to not play in the tournament as they do not want to risk the player with an injury. This is because Xavi wants him to be part of the pre-season program. But that does not necessarily mean Abde will end up staying at the club beyond the summer. The 21-year-old showed his skills while being on loan at Osasuna, but it must be remembered that the competition on wings at Barca right now is already a bit too much. So if Abde is willing to settle for a secondary role, the team might think of his continuity, but if not, the parties could part ways. Given Barcelona's need to make sales and generate revenue, they are willing to offload him in an offer of 35 million euros comes along. Interestingly enough, Abde already has several suitors waiting for him to make a decision, and rumors have it that Real Betis happen to be one of them, although they would only be looking at a loan deal. Betis' sporting director Ramon Planes highly rates the winger, but even he has admitted that the signing will only be possible in the last week of the transfer market, which is why they are not ready to rely on Barcelona entirely. But the Blaugrana, of course, do have offers for the 21-year-old starlet, and it remains to be seen whether they deem any of those acceptable. Of course, Ace Abde's future still remains doubtful. Of course, he was on loan at Osasuna, and I think he was one of the best players for Barca while on loan last season. I think the other players on loan were not that impressive like Abde, and there have been a lot of contradicting reports. Some saying that Xavi wants him to return and play for Barca next season, but some other report will say Barca want to sell him, considering the financial issues that we are currently going through. Of course, Abde, who really wants to stay for Barca, no doubt about that. His preference will be to stay. But looking at the fact that there is competition in the wings, that might also, make him to be reluctant. Currently, there's Rafinha, there's Ferran Torres, there's Ousmane Dembele, there's Ansu Fati, all fighting for a spot on the wings. And of course, Abde coming, honestly, I think game time will be very, very hard to come by. And I think that could even make the player to feel so reluctant to join the team. Of course, this is a guy who played in La Masia. He's an academy product and he has been doing wonders. Honestly, how I wish Abde could be given the opportunity to play for Barca first team next season, but the way things are showing, it's going to look so difficult. It's going to be looking so difficult for Abde to earn a spot. And had it been Barca were not in this kind of situation, like the club that are so desperate for money and they can do everything now just to balance the books, I think Barca could have really considered keeping Abde. But the fact that they are asking 35 million for Abde, if they want to buy him permanently. Honestly, I don't know, but I hope they can pay that amount, whatever suitor comes, but it's going to be very, very difficult, right? It's going to be very difficult and tricky for that amount to come Abde's way. So let's see what happens to Abde. Reports are even saying that players like Nico Gonzalez as well as Abde are strongly linked to Real Betis, who are the most strong admirers of those two players. But so far, things are not moving smoothly, as Ramon Planes, who is the director of now Real Betis, the former director of Barca himself, have said they can possibly go for these Barca players only at the end, towards the end of this transfer window. So I think Barca are hopeful that things could work out for these players to be sold so that they can balance their wage bill. But of course, if Barca will be waiting for Real Betis, I think it can still be a risky task, because if Barca can be pushing the players to find other suitors, I think that will be beneficial, because if they rely on Betis that they will come only towards the end of the transfer window, it's gonna be, maybe it can bounce back on them, and maybe there's no guarantee that the player or Betis will come for the player. Things might change from now to then. Then moving on to the final story of discussion, Barca were able to reunite former Borussia Dortmund teammates Lewandowski and Ilkay Gundogan this summer, but another ex-Dortmund star who might have liked to be part of the reunion is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The Gabonese, who is set to leave Chelsea this summer, has been battling for a return to Camp Nou for a long time. In a recent interview, he reflected on his time at Barca and praised some of his old teammates at the club. Talking about his short 6-month stint in Catalonia, Aubameyang said it was special every time the fans were singing my song. When asked to name his favorite moment with the club, he replied, the 4-0 win over Real Madrid. Aubameyang indeed had a fun spell at Barca. Despite being a part of the team for a little over 6 months, the forward scored 13 goals in 24 league matches. He was rather unfortunate to be offloaded by the club last summer. The Gabonese international, though, has no resentment towards the club. In fact, he harbors massive respect for some of his old teammates, including Ousmane Dembele. When asked to choose between Dembele and Kylian Mbappe, the forward chose Dembele. He said, Dembele is my favorite player and he is my friend. Aubameyang, he praised on yet another former Dortmund teammate in Lewandowski. He said, I love him. He's a player who has taught me a lot. The former Dortmund star went on to praise Barca's young trio, Gavi, Araujo, Pedri. He said, Pedri and Gavi are sensational players. Toughest opponents I've ever faced, I think Araujo, but he was my teammate. Aubameyang's comments are the latest indication of his desire to return to Barca. Unfortunately for both parties, a return might not be a possibility anymore as the Catalans continue to focus on the pursuit of Vitor Roque ahead of the new season. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.